You ever judge someone so hard, only to realize they were exactly what you needed all along? That's what happened to Claire. She thought her driver, Marcus, was just some guy behind the wheel, nothing more. But Marcus turned out to be a seasoned diplomat, an expert she desperately needed. Blinded by bias, Claire almost lost everything. Claire waited impatiently in her marble foyer, glancing at her watch. When Marcus arrived tall, calm, dressed sharp, she barely looked at him, brushing past his professional handshake. "I have 3 big meetings today," she said, "no delays." Marcus smiled politely. "I've reviewed your schedule and mapped the best routes." She scoffed. Drivers do that now. As they drove, Claire called her assistant, loud enough for Marcus to hear. "Keep an eye on him. Run a background check if needed. He's here to drive, not to think. No opinions from the help." Marcus caught her cold glare in the mirror. He swallowed the sting. Bills don't wait for pride. Days went by. Claire's condescension became background noise, but it still cut deep. At a critical investor lunch, Claire told Marcus to wait outside. "This is business, not your world." Through the window, Marcus watched Claire argue with investors over cultural protocols. She waved it off, calling their concerns nonsense. Oriental business practices? What's the difference? Business is business. Marcus's knuckles whitened on the steering wheel. She didn't get it. The word Oriental was offensive, and her dismissive attitude probably lost the deal. He tried to suggest bringing in a cultural consultant, but Claire snapped, "Drive us to the office. I don't need advice from someone whose biggest decision is the route." The irony hit Marcus hard. He'd spent years mediating diplomatic disputes, but his skin color made his knowledge invisible to her. The next morning, Marcus was outside Claire's house, phone buzzing. He answered in fluent Mandarin, discussing trade disputes. Claire overheard, suspicious. "What was that gibberish?" she asked. Marcus said it was a personal call, but her suspicion only grew. Another call came Yoruba from a Nigerian colleague. Claire's mind raced. Why was her driver talking in code? Who was he really? She ordered Sarah to dig deep. Sarah's report came back clean. No criminal record, great references. But Claire's paranoia spiraled. No normal driver speaks multiple foreign languages, especially with so many international calls. He's hiding something. Sarah suggested maybe he was just educated. Claire scoffed. Educated people don't become drivers. There's more. One afternoon, Marcus took another cal in Arabic. Claire's fear peaked. Record everything. I think he's involved in something dangerous. Marcus felt the burden of prejudice heavier than ever. His expertise, the very thing Claire needed, had become her fear. After days of tension, Claire snapped. While Marcus was driving, she ordered, "Stop the car. I know what you're doing, secret foreign calls. I won't have a security risk working for me." Marcus turned, calm but hurt. "Mrs. Miller, these accusations have no evidence." She shouted, "I have recordings. You speak terrorist languages. Who needs Arabic or Chinese to drive?" The word terrorist hit Marcus like a blow. His education, his years as a diplomat, reduced to a stereotype. "Those aren't terrorist languages," he said quietly. "They're languages of diplomacy and trade." Claire called the police and fired him. Marcus stepped out, dignity intact but heartbroken. "Your prejudice is showing," he said, walking away. 3 weeks later, Claire's company was on the brink. Their last Hopia deal with Spanish investors needed cultural respect, and a fluent Spanish speaker she lacked. Roberto Santos, lead investor, insisted on proper protocol. Claire scrambled. "Find me a Spanish consultant who knows business etiquette." But experts were unavailable or expensive. 2 days before the meeting, Claire waited outside a luxury hotel. A familiar figure appeared, Marcus dressed sharply, negotiating complex deals in flawless Spanish. Her breath caught. Marcus wasn't just a driver making calls. He was a seasoned international consultant handling multi-million-dollar mergers. She realized she had destroyed her own lifeline. Summoning courage, Claire called Marcus. He answered, polite but distant. She confessed her mistake, begging for help. Marcus's silence stretched before he said, "Let me get this straight. You fired me for speaking foreign languages, called me a security risk, and now you want my help? Tears welled up. Claire admitted she was wrong, treated him terribly. Marcus replied, "You didn't just treat me badly, you accused me of terrorism. You assumed criminality because I'm black and multilingual. That hurt, but I've survived worse." Claire looked down, ashamed. "I've learned I'm exactly the person I thought I wasn't. Prejudiced and blind. I don't know if I can undo the damage only asked for a chance." Marcus studied her, then shared his story. A PhD in international relations, 8 years as a UN diplomat specializing in cultural mediation, fluent in 8 languages. He left diplomacy over corruption, taking a driver's job to pay bills. Claire's world tilted. The calls she thought suspicious were professional consultations. She buried her face, overwhelmed by guilt. Marcus said, "You saw a black man and assumed the worst. Now you need that same man to save your business. Will you let me?" Claire whispered, "Yes, on my terms." They met at a cafe. Marcus detailed his credentials, his past mediations, and integrity. Claire listened, tears streaming. The next day, Marcus led the meeting with Roberto Santos. Gone was the silent driver. Here stood a commanding expert guiding with cultural finesse. He explained Spanish business customs respect, patience, honor that Claire had dismissed. The investors responded warmly. Marcus built bridges Claire never imagined. 2 hours later, handshakes sealed the deal. Roberto praised Marcus. "Mrs. Miller, your cultural advisor made me feel truly welcomed. This is how business should be done." Claire turned to Marcus, tears in her eyes. "You saved my company." Marcus nodded. "Now, what will you do with this second chance?" Claire smiled. "I want you as Director of International Relations not out of guilt, but because you're the best person for the job." 6 weeks later, Claire faced a skeptical board. One executive challenged Marcus's past as just a driver. Claire cut in, "He has a PhD, 8 years at the uni's qualifications exceed anyone here. Unless you mean his race disqualifies him?" Silence fell. Claire continued, "We're ending our outdated partnerships. Marcus brought us success in weeks we never had." The board voted unanimously to promote Marcus, equity included. In his new office, Marcus looked up as Claire thanked him. "For what?" he asked. "For being the better person. For helping despite everything." Marcus smiled. "I helped because good business means respecting everyone." Claire nodded. "Firing James wasn't just business. It was owning the culture I allowed. Change is daily work." A year later, Claire watched Marcus deliver the keynote at the International Business Ethics Conference. He spoke of humility, respect, and seeing the world through many lenses not just our own. Claire remembered the woman she was: suspicious, prejudiced, blind. She had changed, studied, listened, learned. Marcus concluded, "Differences in culture aren't obstacles, they're restraints." The audience gave a standing ovation. Claire smiled, proud her company was now a leader in ethical international business. As they parted, Claire said, "Thanks for believing in me." Marcus replied, "Everyone deserves a chance to be better than their worst moment. The question is, what do you do with it?" So here's the question for you. How many people like Marcus have we overlooked because of our assumptions? How many chances have we lost due to prejudice? What's your take? Can people really change? Or do biases always win? Share your thoughts. This conversation is far from over. If this story touched you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Let's build a world that sees people for who they truly are, not just what we assume.